Ashley DeLay, welcome to the podcast.
Morgan DeLay.
Oh, Morgan. Oh, my God. Ashley. I don't know where that came from.
No, you're so fine. Actually, I get called Megan probably 2 or 3 times like a week, so I'm used to that curveball, I guess.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
No,
Morgan DeLay. Cool.
Hi, I am Morgan DeLay. I'm the director of the Area 14 Workforce Development Board. We serve Athens, Meigs, and Perry counties through their OhioMeansJobs centers. Every county in Ohio has an OhioMeansJobs center. Those are ours. What we do is we connect employers with job seekers, support different workforce trainings, help people access different opportunities that might hopefully lead to stable careers, ideally locally.
Yeah.
So I'm here today to talk about our job fair we're having. Well, I can talk about anything you want me to, but we're highlighting beautiful. Our job fair, which is Wednesday, April 29th. So this is actually our 22nd annual job fair. Wow. It's the largest job fair in the area. We tend to have 70-plus employers. Right now we have 50, so we have 20 open spots. If there's any employers out there who are interested, we would love to have you. Again, it doesn't have to necessarily be from Athens, Meigs, or Perry counties, although, those are ideal. We do have some from Fairfield County, Parkersburg. We have Canal Winchester, so a lot of employers in the surrounding areas.
And this is at the Rec Center? Or?
Yes, it's at the Athens Rec Center, 701 East State Street. It is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it is free, open to the public. Yeah. Anyone can attend. We encourage you to attend. And this year I'm really excited because we are going to have free headshots for employers and job seekers, courtesy of A-Rock Entertainment. So they'll be there giving us headshots, which I'm so excited about. I think that's a very, very exciting prospect. And then you'll be there. Yeah. So I think we're bringing in some different elements this year that'll make it more entertaining for people, more than just maybe a typical job fair. Yeah,
that's really cool. A-Rock does like the headshot thing for like students at like the OU career fairs, and that does really, really well. There's always a line waiting for it.
I know. That's my goal.
Yeah,
I want a line this year.
That's awesome.
We had 120 people come last year, which was a little bit lower than the year before, but I was in my first year here, and we had a very quick start. So this year I've had more time to really focus on it, and I'm really trying to make it an event for the community. Yeah. We'll have the farmers market going on at the same time, right there in the parking lot.
Wednesday.
So hopefully we can incorporate in, my whole motto is kind of collaboration and seeing how we can all work together to achieve maybe the same goal. So being able to use the job fair in our favor, and maybe they can use us in their benefit, and we can all work together and have a really successful day.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Thank you.
So how did you find out about OhioMeansJobs? Like, how did you land in Area 14? When you say Area 14, you mean like the Hocking, Athens, Perry? Like that's Area 14?
Athens, Meigs, and Perry, yep.
Athens, Meigs, and Perry.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I could go back pretty far for this one, actually. So I've lived here my whole life. I went to Federal Hocking.
Nice. Lancer.
Yeah, very small high school. And when I went to OU, I didn't do so well my first semester. I just wasn't prepared for college. And I just think back to that time a lot and how my 2 options after high school were basically military or college. And I knew I didn't want to go to the military, so I felt like I had to go to college.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready yet, I think. And I'm so grateful now that we still have those options, but we're presenting other options to students and giving them abilities to do apprenticeships and internships and explore what's out there. But that wasn't given to me. So I ended up I was a young single mother, and I was on all the types of government assistance available to me. And I remember I got my first job making $11.25 an hour and lost everything. All my, benefits, my medical, my food, and it was
not a good trade-off.
Yeah, it was a pretty big blow. So I got a job immediately after that at COAD, where I got to help people get free weatherization services on their home. And I think that's where I really decided I wanted to help people.
Is that like the place like up behind East State Street that you like see on the hill but never go to?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I never went there until I got a job there.
That's cool.
But they do great work. And so after that, I worked at Job and Family Services, which transitioned into OhioMeansJobs.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to know the past several people that held this position, so they've been there for me, helping me along the way.
Awesome.
And I guess it's kind of been in the works for a long time, even before I knew it.
That's really cool. One of my favorite topics to talk about with people local to the area is that pressure growing up. Like there's one route to success, and it is getting a college degree and moving away and getting a job at another company, like or you know, maybe it's like your family owns a small business that you're going to take over. And that was like, it really rattled me. And I really bought into a lot of that, and then realized kind of towards the end of that arc, like, oh, this was all bullshit. None of this, like, you are not like the productivity you create. Like, there's just a lot more to it. And, you know, some people will just be like, well, yeah, no shit. Like, but just like growing up, there's this weird pressure around here.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks, you know?
One thing I'm seeing a lot more too, especially in the schools, is the information for these kids to find good jobs locally.
That's awesome.
You know, we could move to Columbus and probably get a decent job, but there are also those opportunities here, and making those more noticeable to these students who, you know, they're the ones we need to make sure they're getting the training and they're ready for these jobs. So,
is there like a theme in the kind of employers? Like, are there a bunch of like one certain of industry employers, or like is it a pretty wide range of people?
This one's open to anybody.
Nice.
So we have construction, healthcare, retail, manufacturing. There's public and private sector. There's literally everything there. Yeah. And then we don't just stop at employers. We've incorporated training programs. So Tri-County will be there.
Nice.
Washington State will be there. We have Ohio University's Aspire. They'll be there.
What is Ohio University Aspire?
So Aspire is, and I might not get this exactly right, but Aspire is a program that helps people who did not earn like their high school degree possibly work towards that or other trainings that they could be a part of.
Got it.
So they'll be there. And then we also, last year, we even had like some different Medicare programs, Medicaid programs, child care, things to help remove barriers. So really, I try to make it more of an all-encompassing event because, you know, our goal, truly, I think when you narrow it down to the most basic thing, is helping people remove barriers to employment, whether that be transportation, childcare, substance abuse, even just those soft skills. Post-COVID, that's huge. Like these, you know, I have a 15-year-old daughter, so we were in the thick of it, and not being able to maybe look someone in the eye or shake their hand or just even have a general conversation. So we really try to remove the barriers to help people get the jobs. Yeah,
that's huge. And it's also really cool to understand why it's important to you, having kind of been one of those people that felt like maybe there weren't that many options.
Right.
Like, what a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's been full circle for me. And, you know, I like to think about it, too, in terms of I don't feel like I'm done yet. So I'm always looking for the next step. So these job fairs, it's not just for the unemployed, although, of course, we want people that are unemployed to be there. But, you know, if you're looking to transition in your career or take the next step, or, you know, we have a lot of people that are retired but don't want to not work. You know, they're bored. Yeah. Things like that. People don't always think about, you know, it's not just for unemployed individuals, although, of course, they are, you know, the forefront of our thoughts when we put it together. Yeah.
That's really cool. So other than like this, you know, employment event, like what is like day to day? What are you doing? Are you just working with like some of these companies, like just kind of doing smaller, like whatever recruitment type things, or like what else is OhioMeansJobs like active in?
Yeah. So for me, day to day, that's a hard question because every day is so different. Cool. If you're looking at the actual OMJ centers, they're very cool because each one is kind of adapted to their county. So they're all very different. I actually have some information that each one can highlight each one because, like I said,
awesome.
they're all so different. So Meigs County, actually, they have been recognized 2 years in a row for their work with veterans.
Cool.
So that's a big accomplishment for them. They also have a wonderful partnership with Mark Porter, an employer in their area, where they do a pre-apprenticeship, and they have a registered apprenticeship there as well. But I want to say they have like 9 employees right now just from that pre-apprenticeship, where they take kids right out of Meigs High School and train them and employ them. Perry County, they do a lot of different excursions with their high school students. So they'll take them on kind of workforce field trips and go see different industries or businesses in the area. They'll give them lunch. Then they also have a very successful summer youth program. Last year, they partnered with 45 local employers for their summer youth. So getting these kids, like I said, exposed early and, seeing what's out there and what's local. And Athens has been doing some really great on-site workshops, different trainings. They work with different partners like AceNet to host digital literacy and things like that, libraries. And then they have, actually, each county has mobile units. Athens County has a few, so they take them out and they're able to do all of their services kind of remotely. So, the main center is in Nelsonville, but Athens is pretty big, so someone from Coolville, we talk about those barriers, might not be able to get there. So if we can come to them, it makes it a little bit easier to get those services to them.
Yeah, it's like a big box truck or something, right? Like I feel, or maybe I'm confusing with like Jobs and Family Services or something.
Yeah, so they're both about the same. One is an old ambulance that they've repurposed into a mobile center, and then one is an old school bus, and they have laptops in it, and they're able to do resumes and print and things like that.
That's wicked.
Yeah, it's all about, one thing I like to say is I like to tell people what we do, but I like to also end it with, there's not a definitive list. There's no real end point. So if an employer or a job seeker comes to us with an idea or a problem, it might not be something we've ever done before, but that doesn't mean we can't come up with a solution, or at least try to come up with a solution to help fix it. So the sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you guys, so I think I talked to Joe, right? Joe was the guy before you?
Yep.
And, we were talking about things like the, high school programs where, I don't know, say, a tech credit program where it's, you could go, or a high school student could go get, a job, shadowing an IT person for a week, and then OhioMeansJobs would help fill out or help get grant funding to have the grant pay for that rather than the company, which is expose the kids to. Is that stuff still going on? I just kind of heard about it in passing once, and then I didn't even think about it until this podcast.
Yeah, so there's several different buckets of funding for several different things, and then of course there are special grants, but in general, we could be able to help pay for trainings, maybe offer supportive services. So again, gas cards, help pay for childcare. Maybe you need tools or boots or something to start work.
Yeah.
So those are some things we can look at. Like I said, truly the sky's the limit. Of course, it depends on funding, which is always not the most fun thing to talk about. But
especially recently.
Yeah.
Too. Have you guys been limited, or have you guys had to cut things due to anything, or have you guys not really been affected?
So this is my first full year in this position, so I don't have a lot of hindsight on what used to happen. I do know they did take a small cut in our funding this year. I think it's unfortunate, but not unexpected. So I think there were already kind of plans in place for how to navigate that. We're always looking for other funding and grants. Right now, I guess this is kind of an unsponsored ad, but there's Future Plans or GRIT. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but they are an amazing organization, and they help Appalachian counties. They have a grant, so all three, Athens, Meigs, and Perry, have been awarded that grant. And of course, like I said, they're all three doing different things with it. But that's just been a really great way to help supplement a little bit. Yeah. And we're always looking for other ways to do that.
Yeah.
We're also really fortunate because people want to work with us too. So, we might get some benefits there. Some, if we get this many people in a cohort, maybe it'll be a little cheaper. There's also things like, I could go on, but there's something called Tech Cred where an employer could upskill their employee and then get reimbursed for that.
Nice.
So there's just so many things where there's options people don't know about.
Yeah.
But the more we can tell people about them, the more we can upskill our local workforce and keep them local.
Yeah, that's incredible. What other things do you think most people don't know about OhioMeansJobs?
I think there's a misconception that it's like any other staffing agency, and it's not a staffing agency, kind of plain and simple. They're not taking part of your paycheck if you get hired. Yeah. They have real relationships with these employers. They can help you with your resume every step of the way. Mm-hmm. So I guess, like I said, there's so many things that they can do. We're always learning. We're always kind of seeing what other counties are doing in other areas. But I think that's even if you just need to go in, you don't, want to register for a service. Actually, I guess the biggest misconception is you don't have to be low income. Mm. There's kind of that idea because, especially in our counties, they're all tied with Job and Family Services. Mm-hmm. Now, there are programs for low income individuals, but you do not have to be low income to just come in and get help. So I'd say that's the biggest misconception.
Yeah, nice.
But it's wonderful people who all have a common goal, and I'm so proud to be part of this and, spreading the word about what they can do in any way I can. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I love all these notes. What else? What other gold we got?
Oh, I'm a big note taker, so there's all kinds of stuff in here. A lot of it's about the job fair, which I really talked about. I think, actually, one thing I would like to talk about, because I've heard 2 people say this in the last day, and it just really ruffles my feathers, is there's this idea that nobody wants to work. And I think that like dark cloud kind of hovers over employers in a bad way, and it makes job seekers more resistant. Because for me, if I'm a job seeker and I'm hearing employers tell me nobody wants to work, it kind of makes me wonder what that work environment might be like.
It's like a projection. Like it's an assumption. It's like a labeling. It's like.
But what people don't.
Reductive.
Yes, yeah, and what people don't understand is kind of what I was talking about before. Is if I'm, struggling to make ends meet, and I'm on government assistance or don't have child care, and I make a minimum or find a minimum wage job, that might not necessarily be helping me that much. There are actually programs being started now specifically to bridge that gap, which I think is great. I think, these are a group of people who see a problem and they want to fix it. So we're not just letting that happen, but it's still there now. So,
because if you zoom in, right, like take an example of somebody that's like, people don't want to fucking work. And it's like, well, maybe, right? Maybe they have issues keeping their child or like watched to be able to go to their job, or maybe they had the car issue, or maybe they, right? It's just when you are worried about tonight, like what are you talking about your job tomorrow, dude? Like I am in a like fight for survival mindset. And so then for you to just reduce all of those struggles, hardships, things that are taking my energy and power, and then just like correlating that and like, oh, you just don't give a shit. And it's like, nah, man, you just like, we're not in the same situation, which is like the reduction, right? It's like you're taking all of the hardships of somebody and just being like, wow, they just don't want to work. And I mean, I don't think it's 0%, right?
Absolutely.
Reasonably. It's not 0% of people, but that don't want, you know what I mean? Like, so there's some truth to it. It's like you're 99% wrong and 100% right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so.
But my question is, why don't they want to work? Because now I was talking about grit. They have this great assessment. It takes forever. It's very in depth, but this assessment kind of tells you what you're good at. I think we kind of grew up like, this is what I like, so this is what I want to do. Well, liking something doesn't necessarily translate to a career.
Or being good at,
right. So I think taking what you like and what you're good at and marrying those two and finding, where you're going to be successful, a lot of people haven't found that. We also have just generational issues where maybe mom and dad have never worked, maybe grandma and grandpa have never worked. It's breaking those generational patterns and showing people that work doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to hurt your body. It doesn't have to, take all of your time. that there's options. And so I don't think people inherently don't want to work.
I agree.
I've never really met anyone that just doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah, it's like they want to do something that's meaningful to some degree. So like two things I would say about that. One, passion is too high to aim at. Like to be like, I have to be doing for a living the thing I am most passionate about. That bar's a little too high. You know, a great job is really underappreciated. And like kind of the second point is that there's too many reference points. Before, you know, like Keeping Up with the Joneses, you were just kind of like paying attention in your own neighborhood. But like you just can't open social media without some drop shipper or whatever, like online marketer or just like some like really 1 in 1 billion outcome that you're like, oh, well, you know, look at this person. Like, why would I do this job if like, and so there's just all these reference points that make your like reality just distort. And you have like, and or like even the entrepreneurial thing. Like I feel, especially with the college students that I talk to now, just like everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. And I don't know if that's a virtue signaling thing or what, but like, I do think that a good job with a good employer is undervalued. And I think it has something to do with social media. I think it has something to do with, again, like this idea that you can only be successful if you're doing what you're most passionate at. It's just, like I know a lot of people that have built a really great life, and you know maybe even it's just like they took the pressure off of themselves with the passion thing of just understanding that like not that it's a means to an end, but to some degree it is. Like it provides me the ability to whatever, like the things that are at the core. Like I want to have a family, and so it will allow me the ability to provide for that family or just whatever it is. You know, I don't know.
Right. And another point I think is kind of to your point is social media, and everything's online now. And we live in a area where broadband isn't as widely accessible as, you know, maybe some others. We do have older individuals who want to work but who aren't as, you know, great at navigating these websites. And then quite frankly, if you go to some of these job search websites, it's hard to separate what's real and what's not. So,
what do you mean by that? Like literal fake,
yeah, or just spam postings, or you know, you think it's one thing, but when you register, it's another. Those are out there, and it can be intimidating and scary. And I mean, I think once you get kind of got once, you are even more hesitant to do it again, and that's why I think the importance of these in-person kind of events comes into play, where I talked about COVID and soft skills and, you know, just having younger people have the ability to speak face-to-face with an employer, be able to ask questions, whereas if I'm, you know, applying online, I can't really ask a question, get a feel for each other, but really learning how to come out and be around people. As much as I know people wish work from home jobs would just fall in all of our laps, they're not. In fact, they're kind of going away. So
you know, even them going away, I'm starting to see, like I'm also kind of an example because I have like a remote job, but I like come into this innovation center, and that for me works well. Like I lived in Cleveland. I liked going into the office. When I was in college, like I didn't do my homework at home. I went to the library. I went to a coffee shop. Like when I'm like in my domicile, like there's just like it's a different me, you know? And so I like to separate the space. But I'm starting to notice like people posting on like LinkedIn and stuff that are like, you know, I've been working from home for the past 4 years and I started going into this co-working space, and it's like, isn't that an office? Like, you just want to go back to the office. And so I think I'm even seeing like an organic thing of people being like, I'm kind of tired of not seeing anybody. And that was my thing. Like, even though I lived in Cleveland and had the office like a couple minute walk away, there was still like a stretch of time where I didn't go into the office for maybe like 3 weeks. I was dealing with some shit, and but like I just remember like never seeing human beings until like 5 or 6 p.m. every day, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, like remote jobs are awesome. I think that the best is like that hybrid where it's like you come in a few days, but the flexibility is like when you need to take your kid to a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m., like it would just be a waste of time to drive into the office and drive back home. Like, so I like that. ability. But I'm kind of with you. I'm starting to, like, I see a trend away from, like, everybody on the hype of fully remote and stuff like that, because it's just, like, kind of to your point, collaboration is the best in person.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just,
I think people definitely miss in person. And
just funny. The pendulum swings, right? We heard that right when this was all happening. They're like, you just wait. It's going to come back, like, organically, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure there's people hearing this that totally disagree with me.
Yeah,
but
like, fuck you. I'm staying home every day.
That's just, I guess, how I feel and what I'm seeing. And I do think, like, I personally, too, it had such a negative effect on me. Like, I enjoyed working from home. I thought I enjoyed working from home. But then when it was time for me to, like, re-enter society, I was scared. I kind of had become comfortable at home. And, you know, that's where I felt like I needed to be. And now just being back out and, like, I feel happier. I feel like I get to see people and do things. And I'm in a much better place than I was COVID working from home.
Good.
But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I think I wish there were more opportunities like this to just share what we do, because at the core, I think that's what I'm here for, is to share and get the word out about these centers so people can go there and get help.
What are some success stories you would share? Like, you've been here for about a year now. Like, has anything gone really well? Have you done any other events that, like, did better than expected? Or, like, what would you reflect on in your first year?
I think we've had some great events. I don't think anything was not successful, so that's a good sign. Yeah. We've been trying to do more education, so more workshops, or today we did a workforce roundtable. We had LMI, which is labor market information. They came and talked to us, and, like, having those discussions with the people who are working in that area.
Is LSI a corporation, or is it a nonprofit organization?
It is. No, it's just, I guess, a government, Ohio State government group. Okay. And so those have been a lot of fun. Actually, yesterday we did a Nelsonville area support and stability fair. And this kind of...
Support and stability fair?
Yeah. So this, I guess, relates to what I was talking about, where the sky's the limit. So a few weeks ago, the wall for the mine in Nelsonville fell, which displaced some workers and caused, I guess, just a lot of stress in the area. And we wanted to do something to kind of help that, so we put together, we didn't want to call it a job fair. We did have some employers there, but we also had, again, training providers and other resources. Representatives from unemployment were there, and just different area agencies. I think they even had a little, like, hygiene station set up where people could get soaps and shampoos and things like that. And we had 32 people come through that. And so just things like that have been, to me, those are the big successes. I know at the OMJs, they're working one-on-one with people and getting to see more of those, like, individualized successes, which I think is wonderful. But for me, it's making these community events and then having people attend them and get something from them. Yeah. That's where I find success.
That's cool.
Thank you.
I've been to the Nelsonville, like there was a lady, Erin Fink is doing, like, a trauma-sensitive, like, informed yoga series. It's like 10 weeks long. And that was, like, the first time I ever pulled up to the building, and it is, like, I could see how that would be a really advantageous space. Like, literally just, like, printers or, it was a cool space, for sure.
Yeah, that's a really nice, big, open space, so they're able to have lots of big events,
because, like, the one on, didn't there used to be an office right here on Union? Yeah. But then that's the one that they kind of, like, rolled the people over up into Nelsonville?
Yeah, so they're up in Nelsonville now.
Nice.
And it's been very nice. They have a lot of room to do a lot of stuff. So, I think that's, again, it's not workforce, like, by definition, but when you're building communities and giving people places to relieve stress, or, you know, they have, I don't know what the specific name of it is, but, like, a play group with younger kids. So, you know, parents can come in and maybe get some resources or advice or help. It's making the community better, which I think in turn gives us a stronger workforce.
Yeah. I mean, For sure. I mean, it's like there's more than just employment in a community, right?
Right.
Yeah, which is really cool. And that's why it was like cool to hear about, you know, like the childcare things or the transportation things, like looping that into a job fair as well is like kind of supporting, because that's kind of what I expect when you're like a support fair, you know what I mean? It's like all the things around that, but no, that makes sense too. So like, so you started saying like Area 14, like, do you meet like regularly with like the other areas, or like, do you ever like community? Yeah. What is that like?
Yeah, so Area 14, again, is Athens, Meigs, and Perry. So we all meet up regularly.
Cool.
And then we have our region, which is the Southeast region, which is areas 14, 15, and 16. So Area 15 is Washington, Morgan, Monroe, and Noble counties.
It's like that way.
And then 16 is Jefferson, Harrison, Carroll, Belmont, and Belmont counties. So they're a little more north.
Okay.
When I say southeast, that's just what they call us.
Yeah,
it might not necessarily be
yeah.
southeast. We're a region. So we have what's called a regional plan, where we all have to meet and come up with goals and things we're going to do for the next 4 years. One of the things we're doing is a regional summit. So in April, on April 16th, we're going to have our first regional summit in Marietta at the Lafayette.
Say more. What is this event?
So we're going to have speakers, many different speakers. It's just a one-day event.
Cool.
$75 to register. And we're going to have some panels. So we're going to have a workforce barrier panel, a WIOA panel, which is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and that's kind of the umbrella that we work under. We'll have speakers from AI, some different topics on AI. We're going to have Avery from AceNet is going to do a Canva session. So,
shout out Avery.
Yeah, it's just a way, again, to bring us all together, make sure we're all kind of on the same page with some different legislative stuff, I guess, the different rules, and share best practices, and just, you know, again, get to know, hey, there's this maybe employer that's a few counties away, but they're doing really cool things, or this training provider, and making sure we're all aware of what we have in our little area, I guess.
Nice. That's really cool.
Thank you. I wish I could take credit for it. Like I said, I was kind of thrown into this role, but it's a lot of fun and a little stressful sometimes, but I've met so many amazing people, and like I said, we all have one goal, and that's just really cool, especially in such a polarized world right now, where if you can get a group of people together and they can all just kind of agree on something, it's pretty special.
Yeah. And honestly, too, like, you know, you reaching out to me and, like, connecting me to Tri-County and, like, you know, like, suggesting more people, like, that was really warming and inviting. Like, it was just awesome. Like, you're just immediately making connections. And
yeah, in fact, I have more. I'm ready.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, how often are you working with these employers? Is it like via setting up like these things like the job fair and stuff, or like you're also just kind of like keeping a pulse with them? Like, hey, what positions do you have open and stuff? So you just kind of like intermittently like speaking with all these different companies around the region, or like people traditionally reaching out to you like, hey, we've got some stuff we want to hire for? Like,
yeah, I would say each county has their maybe core employers that they work with, but they're always trying to grow that. As far as the actual workforce board, it's kind of a, you know, employers come to us and want something, and we can either get them in touch with the right person or we can help them. I believe I introduced you to Stefano from Vitruvian. Yeah. We're working with them right now on a potential project for the future. We just have lots of different employers that we work with. I think like I said, at a county level, you're going to get into the more specific relationships, but we're always looking for new relationships too.
Yeah.
And it's especially people, anybody. We want to work with anybody, but if you're an employer that works with high school students, that would be great, because they're always looking for job shadow opportunities, work experience, summer programs, things like that. And like I said with Mark Porter, you know, I think a lot of, maybe I'm wrong, this is just me guessing, I guess a little bit, but in my mind, I think maybe employers don't want to work with high schoolers, or they don't want to put in the effort to then lose the employee. But Mark Porter is a great example of, you know, kids will stay if
you treat them right with respect and give them opportunity and mentor them like Absolutely. Any good employer should do. I only believe on the job training. I mean, I think that there are, again, that's not to dismiss the technical components. Again, like you should go to Tri-County if you want, in their electrical program, if you want to become an electrician one day. Like there is something to the training. But so it's like, right, you got to understand like the safety protocols and all that stuff. But it's like once you get to your employer, it's like there's going to be a process that you follow and you're going to have to be adaptable and things are always going to be changing. Like you become an electrician, it's like the rules aren't stagnant. You know what I mean? It's like codes are going to change and you're just there. So then there's always this like continual, like that was just so frustrating for me before it just like snapped in my head. Like there is no end. You're never just like done, I don't know where I was going with that. But. No,
yeah, I totally agree, though. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever be done looking for what's next, but it's definitely, I agree. And that's why I talk so strongly about, I guess, soft skills, because those are something you're going to need no matter where you go.
Yeah.
I agree with you that you're going to learn most of the technical components of a job on the job. That's just how it works. Mm-hmm. But learning how to be on time, call off. I think that's something that a lot of people around here, they, if my car breaks down and I can't make it to work, maybe I just don't go again. And, understand.
Is that like fear? It's just like, I did something bad. I should have just, it's like you shy away from it. And then the longer you run from the monster, the bigger it gets type deal.
I think it's fear. Yeah. I think it's a lot of being told that again, nobody wants to work. Nobody has a work ethic. So if I'm calling off, I'm one of those maybe that doesn't want to work. It's changing that kind of thought process.
It's like the assumption behind, assume positive intent, right? Don't assume that the world is deceitful. Like you'll find what you're looking for. If you believe that the world sucks, you're going to find support to back that up. Mm-hmm. Conversely, if you believe it's great and you assume positive intent, it's like your world just blossoms and you're like, oh my God, there's so much beauty in the world. Yeah, I mean, I can see that's such a deep-rooted stigma or like label. That's like classism and like it's just
Yeah, it's definitely it'll take a while. I think that's a big one here. I think obviously substance abuse is pretty big here, and then but everywhere you're going to find transportation. And even if we can find you a job, if you can't get there, what good does that do us? Or there's public transportation, but they might only run
every 15 minutes or whatever it is.
They stop running at 6 p.m. or something, and most people, especially minimum wage workers, they're probably not working those ideal schedules. So
and it's probably fucking different every day. It's 10 to 6 this day and 3 to 11 the next day. Yeah, I mean like Kroger's open until midnight. You know what I mean? If you're working at Kroger, then you can't just work the standard 8 to 5. For sure.
So I think we have a lot to change and a lot to improve upon, which I guess there always will be something. But for sure. I think we also have a good core group of programs and people, workforce, training, education, and all these community resources that really do want to help, and that's what they're here for. Again, the biggest issue, of course, is funding, but I think if we all work together too, we can make something work or figure something out. It just takes a little time. But that's another great thing about all these other counties that we get to work with and hear from and learn from is what they're doing and how
what works well. Like how can we make that happen here?
Exactly. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just not set up the same. But other times you can, or you can adapt and make it your own. So
you can't repeat it, but you could rhyme it.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm very excited for the future and what we're doing. We have a busy month coming up. Like I said, we have our Southeast Regional event and our job fair.
Where was that regional event?
It's at the Lafayette in Marietta, April 16th.
April 16th.
Yep. And also, we have quarterly partner meetings, so we can I invite whoever wants to be in those if they just want to learn about what our partners are doing in the area.
Partners being, what do you mean by partners?
So each area has a comprehensive OMJ center and then affiliate centers. So our comprehensive center is in Athens or Nelsonville.
Yeah.
And then our Meigs and Perry are the affiliates. And the comprehensive center hosts different partners. So Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities comes and visits them once a week. Unemployment's there. vet services.
Gotcha. So those are the partners, the people that are coming to support the same people that you're supporting, just maybe via a different
Yes, and then we also have education providers and local businesses. So really just the core of who we would need to be learning all this information.
Yeah.
So we have those meetings quarterly. They're really great. People love them. They're always full of conversation, and we usually have a presenter. So last time it was actually the New Lex Workforce Department. New Lexington High School has this workforce department. They're building this huge center. It's really,
I've been hearing a lot about New Lex. Tri-County was talking about how New Lex is like kind of launching a bunch of these vocational, like New Lex has a welding class now, or like they have the new media professor from Tri-County is going to. So I just keep hearing cool things about New Lex.
Yeah, well, they again have seen the barriers in their community, and they're doing something to fix it. So they're going to have like an indoor track for people if they want to walk on it. They're going to have different training programs. So yeah, different healthcare, and then I think they're even going to have a clinic so that the people in the healthcare program can do their job shadowing or internships or whatever right on site.
That's really exciting.
It really is. So I'm really happy to be working with all these people who are making such good differences in their communities.
So are these quarterly meetings, are these like recorded and saved for the public to access, or like what, like, how could you share that with more people without kind of any more effort? It's like you're already doing this quarterly meeting. How do you share the results from that? Like,
that's a good question.
Yeah, well, I don't know, for like example, like the Port Authority, which is like kind of a different thing, but like their meetings are all recorded and then like archived, and you could like kind of request the minutes and stuff like that. It would just like, it would seem like capturing that would be maybe a cool idea, especially if you're saying like there's people to come in to talk and like there's ideas floating around. It's like, I don't know. So because only the people in the room are going to hear that idea versus it just takes like one person hearing something to like fire out. You know, it's like maybe they were, again, 99% of the way there, but the dude that had the 1%, like maybe he's not going to hear it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. I mean, I already do them hybrid on Zoom, so I can easily just record them. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I have big ideas, and I wanted to start. When I started, I had big ideas, but I had to like take a step back because I got overwhelmed pretty quickly. But I would love to set up social media for the area board, just to have some sort of central location where people can go. We have a website, but social media.
OhioMeansJobs, you mean, or like Area 14
Area 14, yeah. Okay. OhioMeansJobs, they each have their own social media accounts and things like that. So I thought having one for the area might just be somewhere for people to gather or get information.
Yeah, or like the farmer's market. I love what the farmer's market does, where they do like a vendor spotlight, and it's like, hey, here's one of the employers that came to our event last week, and so then maybe if you're like again, like somebody that would want to go to that for the 2 months leading up to it, it's like once a week there's a different employer there that you learn about, which is really what like attending that career fair and kind of getting those short snippet conversations, like, those are almost going to be interviews, like pre-screenings. So like, oh, hey, there's a lot here. We should talk again. And so I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think you're going to get to talk to a lot of people with a lot of interesting points of view. So I'm excited about that too.
Cool.
But yeah, I think we're all working to make our community better, which to me, again, like I've said 100 times, like a broken record, but to me that's the goal. I would love to have like I feel like if I say it out loud on a podcast, I have to do it. So I have the social media I want to do. And then I'd also like to do maybe a regular letter. I forget what they're called. But
newsletter?
Yeah, newsletter, some kind of outreach. Just a way to have a more regular
here's what
communication.
We're up to. Yeah.
Because every 3 months, a lot can happen in a 3-month span. So I try to share what we have. But if anybody ever wants information, all they have to do is ask. And
ask you.
Yes.
Morgan, not Ashley.
Morgan, that's
Delay.
right. Yes.
How could they? What's your email? Like, how could they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can email me directly at mdelay@athensoh.org, and people always ask me about my last name, and it's just exactly how it sounds. It's DELAY.
Cool.
And you can call me. My work phone's 740-566-4395.
Perfect. I'll make sure we get it in the description. But yeah, so then what would you say? Like maybe not necessarily to the people that are utilizing the services of Area Force 14, but how can the community support what you're doing?
sharing our information and letting people know that we're there, and remembering, keeping in mind it's not a competition. It's we're all, like, again, working towards the same goal. So, we want to help you. Hopefully you want to help us. There's this new program now called Work Ohio. It's kind of in the very beginning phases, but its goal is to create kind of a centralized hub where a person can go onto this website and say, hey, I'm interested in, this training, or I don't have my GED or diploma and I would really like to get that. And anywhere in the state, they can go onto this website and they'll be routed to a resource in their area. So that's something that's being worked on now that is kind of streamlining things. So there's always changes.
Shout out technology. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Everything changes all the time.
Yes.
The more it changes, the more it stays the same.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is keeping up with the changes. Yeah. But truly, at the end of the day, it's all for one thing, and that's getting people jobs and getting employees, and having a thriving local economy.
Yeah, which is like something that Andrea Townsend talked about yesterday. Like, we are trying to make productive members of society in your community. Like I'm hearing the same exact thing.
Yeah,
and that's just a beautiful thing.
I think so too, and it's nice to have people like Andrea who have the same goals. I'm going to be at their event
the
next
Employment
week.
Extravaganza, plug it, Tuesday, March 17th at Tri-County.
Yep, we'll be there. I'll be doing mock interviews there. So again,
how fun.
No 2 days are the same.
Yeah.
Every day I get to do something different and fun and meet new people, and it's been really great.
Yeah, that is sick. That's, I'm glad that you're going over to the Employment Extravaganza.
Yeah. And they'll be at our job fair.
Yeah,
so.
Beautiful. Intertwined.
Yep. We're all working together.
Yeah.
And that it gets confusing. It's hard. I think that there's a lot of resistance because where do you even start, right? But I think the foundations are there, and these are really great people who are doing really great things. So why not work together?
Yeah, well, it's a metaphor, guys. Like, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time. You look at, I think actually, Andrea or Kim, somebody recently might have spoken about that too, about like just making the leaps between, like I'm a child to I'm a young adult entering like the workforce. And it's like, how can we break down all these leaps to make you see a path that is like reasonable to get there versus like, that kid that's coming out of high school and is like, I don't want to go to college. I don't know what I want to do. Like, it's, supporting them to figure that out for themselves without like trying to answer all those questions for them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, provide them with agency to make decisions, and which is like the same thing all the time. Just like a decision for yourself in your career, a decision for yourself personally, the types of things I'm going to consume, but to the addiction thing, right? It's just like the agency over your life is important. You know? Yeah.
And I would just say be patient. People are going to make mistakes, and not to write them off, and, maybe learn from them, help them learn from their mistakes. And like I said, it's not that nobody wants to work. It's just we gotta make it something that, why wouldn't they want to work?
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
Wow. This is really awesome. I appreciate you coming through. I'm very much looking forward to the career fair on the 29th. I haven't exactly figured out structurally how that goes. Like, am I going to rip a bunch of short episodes, or like, because they chapter episodes, like maybe I can just smush them all together. I don't know, but that's just, I'm so excited to meet people. I'm really, like, the Tri-County episodes went so great. Thank you so much for connecting us.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm excited to see where that goes. I think that there's a lot left on the table there. I am going to maybe try to follow up with them after the employment extravaganza. Like, they mentioned there's like a workforce development lady like at Tri-County that might be cool to talk to after the event. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and you just all the people that you continue to connect me to. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, you'll have 70 employers at your disposal that day, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, awesome. Well, appreciate your time, Morgan DeLay. It was really great to hear from you. One more time, email and phone number for the people.
Yeah, my email is mdelay@athensoh.org, and my phone number is 740-566-4395.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Morgan.
Thank you.